Cześć, medycznamarihuana.com, największy portal informacyjny w Polsce dotyczący konopi medycznych czy marihuany medycznej. Mamy przyjemność właśnie rozmawiać z jedną z prelegentek tutaj na targach konopnych Cannabis w Warszawie, Olga Zapukhliak, która jest naukowcem w swoim kraju, w Ukrainie i chcielibyśmy się po prostu dowiedzieć, czym się zajmuje. So Olga, first of all, please tell me what's your job? What do you do? You work for some institute, yeah? What is it?
Yes, I am a scientist in one word. So what we do is we study a problem. In my case, I study brain function. I have a lab and we make scientific experiments in order to study brain functioning.
And during this expo here, you gave a presentation. Yeah, what's this presentation about?
Well, it was about the function of endocannabinoids in our body and how cannabis and cannabinoids affect our body and the brain.
All right. And where do you get such information? Do you do this kind of research in your lab?
We do research in our lab regarding our brain function, but it is illegal to work with cannabis and cannabinoids. Although we can use some chemicals we can use cannabis. We can use chemicals for scientific research, but not cannabis plant per se. So partially it is part of my work, but most information regarding cannabis is in open access in the world scientific literature.
Mm-hmm. So it's available for everyone?
Yes, you can print the topic, for example, name a disease and cannabis or cannabinoids in Google Scholar. You add Scholar and Google gets you all scientific papers. You just need some kind of scientific expertise to go through all this terminology. But everything is open.
All right. So as a scientist, you know a lot about the human body, yes?
Well, not a lot, but something. We don't know a lot. Our human body is still a mystery for us.
Yeah, it's a very complicated machine. When it comes to hemp, yes, it works. It has some effects. First of all, why does it have the effects?
So it has effects because on particularly every cell in our body we have endocannabinoid receptors. Those are protein molecules that detect presence of cannabinoids. It could be cannabinoids from a plant, or it could be cannabinoids that our body synthesize, produce, our endocannabinoids. So, and this is why hemp works, because it gets into our body, and in our body, on our cells, there are receptors that detect it. And these receptors change how our cells and how our whole body work.
All right, so as a scientist, you probably know more than me about that. So tell me, because this is very interesting for me, I suppose, for our viewers too. Why are there those receptors in the body?
This is a difficult question, why they are. We know that cannabinoids are found not only in cannabis. There are molecules similar to cannabinoids in some mushrooms, there are like in truffles. There are cannabinoids produced by like gilmins, you know, when parasites in our intestine, they produce cannabinoids and our body detects them. So there are a lot of different sources and our body produces cannabinoids. So in our body, there are receptors for cannabinoids primarily because our body produces its own endocannabinoid molecules, which will then interact with these receptors. In ideal world, our body doesn't need cannabis. It has its own endocannabinoids and it has its own endocannabinoid detectors or receptors.
All right, so we still don't know too much about
this is the whole, yes, because our body is that much complicated and we have thousands of different receptors and we don't know most even function of them.
All right. Anyway, we know it works and why now. So how does it work? What's the effect of cannabinoids?
Well, those are obvious effects of cannabis or weed that we see on a person. If it regarding nervous system, it's sedation. Person gets calming down. It reduces memory. It reduces anxiety. It reduces short-term memory, and we know that those effects don't last long. So this is a good news that people don't get dementia or something like that from using cannabis. On the level of the body, it increases appetite. We know that it reduces pain. It reduces inflammation. It makes person more calm and more relaxed. It increases digestion, and it helps our body survive the stress, so to say. So it's our inside system of combating stress.
All right, so it's like a lot of effects actually. So there's a lot of talk recently about medical application, is about different diseases that can be maybe not cured, but at least hemp may help with the therapy. What kind of diseases you think are like the best or most suited for cannabis use?
Well, we know that cannabis helps people with epilepsy. We actually know it from 1960s. We still need scientific research to validate those drugs and so on. But from scientific point of view, we know for sure that it helps. We know that cannabis helps people who has anorexia nervosa when they can't eat. It is definitely cannabis help them. Today we have drugs that are prescribed, drugs with synthetic cannabinoids that are prescribed to people who have multiple sclerosis. We treat pain with cannabis, and also what we know for sure is cannabis is extremely good against vomiting and nausea, and conditions when people have uncontrolled vomiting and nausea, like under chemotherapy, cannabis helps them. So these are the main that we know today for sure, and we have also 10 or several number of diseases that we continue to study, and we think yes, it will help, like autoimmune disorders, chronic pain disorders, glaucoma, asthma, cancer. But those are not validated on people, on humans. Those are in labs, on laboratory animals. We study, we make models of diseases, and we see some promising effects. So I think that in several years the list of disorders will increase significantly.
Hopefully it will. When it comes to something you mentioned actually now, synthetic form. So what's the best form for application of hemp, of cannabis? And is the natural and synthetic the same?
Okay, yeah, it's a very difficult question, and for a good reason people think about it, because synthetic cannabinoids from one point of view are good because you know dosage. They are always the same. You don't need to find the same strain. You don't depend on a grower or a plant or something like that. You just get THC, and it will be the same THC for as long as you need it.
So it's better for standardization, I think it's called.
Better for standardization. It's better for pharmacy, for big pharma, because it's money, it's patent. You can't patent a plant. You can't patent THC because it's natural. But you can patent a pill with synthetic THC. So for money, for industry, it's better synthetic cannabinoids. It's easy to regulate and so on. But we today know that there is an entourage effect when, for example, we take already 2 cannabinoids from a plant and they act better than separately. We take 3 and they act even better than separately. We take a plant and it acts better than a synthetic cannabinoid. So there are also very profound scientific research under this, but unfortunately phytocannabinoids are too much regulated. So, and today synthetic cannabinoids are the first and the easiest alternative. They easily become legal. You can buy it, but they're expensive. They not work that well as natural cannabinoids, but it's all clear with them. So
why do you think it's still like we use more synthetics than natural, medicine?
Legally, we use more synthetics. Illegally, we don't use more synthetics because they synthetic, they are expensive, and they are drugs, pills. Yes, because government says so. Because government decides what can we use and what cannot. And if government says this is the pill you can take it, it's sold in a pharmacy, so people go and buy it. And on a cannabis, government says you can't use it. So that's why.
All right, and you mentioned that we know, yes, we know from 60s, we know because of that. But how do we know that? I mean, is there any real evidence, any like hard evidence
Evidence of what?
of cannabis actually helping?
Well, yes, of course, we know for sure. Like even from 60s, scientists in most of the countries, even when cannabis was completely illegal, scientists still were working on it. And all the effects that are known in popular culture of cannabis are all validated by the scientists. So like its painkilling effect, we see that it works on rats even. So we don't need a human being to validate cannabis effects. We take laboratory animal, we model conditions, and we see that cannabis acts the same way it acts on humans, it acts on other animals too, and it's like 100% proven.
So such proofs may be discovered on the internet probably.
Yes, you can look at the physiology effects of cannabis. Well, it's better to search some particular effect. So if you're, for example, interested in food intake or anxiety or in pain killing, so you should search like cannabis in pain killing or cannabinoids in pain killing, because there are so many effects and so many information that it's easy to get lost among all these facts. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this knowledge. Is there anything important you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I want to wish everyone to be open to new knowledge and to always search those new knowledge, because we live in a world when knowledge is open and you only need time, patience, and if you want to find something out, you will find it out. Don't believe anyone. Just search and you will find the truth for yourself.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you. Thank you. Wish you all health.